Well, my character's based on a guy who actually lived and investigated the bombing in real time and in real life. His name has been changed for the film, but you know, I know a lot of people in law enforcement. I've played law enforcement characters. You know, when you're operating with the fog of war and with all of this uncertainty, and you're trying to do the best you can to narrow down the pool of suspects, and you've got people from the public and pressure from the press and from other law enforcement agencies, and you're trying to get information back and forth as fast as you possibly can. Sometimes things get missed, and with this particular case, there was a lot of evidence, or circumstantial evidence, but evidence nonetheless, that was sort of shaping this into making Richard Jewell a very high-profile suspect. And it wasn't necessarily bad police work. It was just kind of incomplete police work. And you know, eventually they let him go. They never charged him with anything. But the unfortunate side of it was that the guy's life was completely ruined because he was tried in the court of public opinion and summarily found guilty and then canceled, as they say nowadays. I think the relationship between law enforcement and media is always kind of fraught. You know, I think both of them need each other for information and for help, and if that information is honestly passed on and worked on sort of within the realm of propriety, I think that it can be mutually beneficial. But I think in this case there were some mitigating factors that maybe led both of them kind of down the wrong path. And I think when they both realized they got it wrong, it was a real eye-opener for both of them. His mom's still alive. You know, obviously you want to treat it with as much honesty and as much respect as you can. You know, she has no love lost for my character, that's for sure. And it's nice to be able to hopefully set the record straight on her son's life. You know, Richard passed away in his 50s, kind of never really being exonerated. I mean, in the public eye, people still say, "Oh, that's the guy that blew up the thing." No, it's not. And so it's a challenge, but it's a worthwhile one because it's in some way trying to set the record straight. Well, in talking with Clint about how he wanted to make this movie, I think part of it was a look. I think he wanted to kind of set it in this kind of mythic story of the past, kind of almost like a fable in many ways. So I think obviously we are dealing with real events that many of us were alive for, but you want to present it in a way that's compelling and I think resonant to an audience of today. No one paid attention when it happened, and it's a real bummer when somebody gets kind of dragged through the coals for no reason other than somebody wants to win an award or be first to the line with the story. You know, the old saying is a lie gets all the way around the world or halfway around the world before the truth gets out of bed. That's not right. You know, there should be a little more responsibility on everybody's side to say, hold on a minute, is what we're doing, if we're going to wreck somebody's life, is it going to be because they did something worth wrecking their life over, not just because he looks the part and he would happen to be near the thing? Because it could happen to any one of us, and if we don't have strictures in place to make sure it doesn't, that's not very American. I was very pleased when I found out who the cast was going to be. I've met Sam. I've never worked with them. I met Sam socially and Olivia socially. I've never worked with either one of them, but I have worked with Kathy Bates previously, and I'm a big fan of Paul's work. So I was incredibly pleased to see who we had lined up for this, and as well as Nina Arianda, who I think is wonderful as well. But it's exciting. You know, it's an exciting group of people that are uniquely talented, and I think supremely fit to tell the story.